Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content of the 2023-24 season. My name is Dan, and I have just witnessed Manchester United get away with murder. How on earth have they managed to come away with 3 points from that game? Wolves were the better team in that game. Wolves really unlucky not to get a penalty in the end there as well. I'm sure different people have different opinions on that one, but hey, that definitely could have been a penalty, right? I feel like Wolves were actually quite good. I feel like Manchester United were actually really disappointed in that game. Really poor start from them despite the 3 points. So yeah, some minor concerns there, but maybe they can change things in the future game weeks. But congratulations if you do own Andre Onana. I know a lot of you guys have him in your team. He's obviously done very well there. 9 points in the end with the clean sheet, 2 save points, and also 1 bonus point to finish him off. And if anyone's got Varane or Wan-Bissaka out there, then hey, maybe you got a few points there yourself. But aside from that, a pretty disappointing game in terms of FPL. Even Luke Shaw only managed 5 points with that yellow card and no bonus, which was not too much. And anyone who owns Rashford and Bruno Fernandes like me, you're probably not going to be too happy with that result either. But aside from that, I feel like it's been a pretty good week for a lot of us. I feel like many of us have got a decent amount of points there. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a reasonably successful week, probably, for a lot of people. I don't know what you guys think about that one. Let me know in the chat what your scores were, but I've actually managed to end up on 86 points, which I believe puts me around rank 190,000. I would say in general, if you've managed to finish game week 1 with I don't know, a top 1 million rank, I think that's pretty good, to be fair. So yeah, congratulations to anyone who yeah, managed to have a good start. It's always nice to have a good start in FPL, isn't it? So yeah, hopefully many of you guys managed that as well. I can see in the chat we've got some 82 points here and there. Lots of people around 80 or the high 70s. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think you guys should be pretty pleased with that one. Someone says they've got 99 points, but I'm not sure how they've managed that unless they have spunked their bench boost nice and early. But I guess I won't ask any questions. There's nothing wrong with going for something a little bit different, I guess, but not my preferred tactic. So lots to talk about today, guys. We've also obviously got some injuries. We've got some potential players who might need replacing in our team. So yeah, we will go through that. Thankfully, I'm in a situation where I don't really think I need to make too many changes, to be fair. So, yeah, looking pretty good for me. Looking through my team for next game. We quickly got a super chat here first from AZ. €10 super chat. That's very generous, AZ. Thank you so much. AZ says, clear penalty, really bad decision. And I say that even though I have Onana. 87 total points. A great start. Let's keep that train rolling. I hate my Bruno pick due to being afraid not to have him. Well, I wouldn't judge the pick too early. It's only been 1 game, and Wolves did play pretty well despite Man United looking quite flat. And I don't know if necessarily that the Bruno is going to continue to be bad. 1 game is not really a trend, and we know how good him and Rashford were last season, so I would not be looking to judge that situation too early. And I know I'm going to be getting this question in the chat a million times over, so I may as well answer it now. And I know you guys watching this as a replay, you'll be asking this in the comments as well. Should you sell Rashford? Should you sell Fernandes? In my opinion, no. I would not be looking to sell either of those players. And I have both of those players. And there's pretty much 0 chance of me selling either of them. This Spurs game just looks too good for me. I feel like Spurs just, you know, a very open and attacking game. I think they will score against Manchester United, so I'd be more worried if I owned Onana or Luke Shaw. I would keep Onana, don't get me wrong, but Luke Shaw I would be more concerned about than the likes of Rashford and Fernandes, because I think there's going to be goals at each end, judging by the first game of each of these teams. So I would not be looking to sell Rashford and Fernandes just yet. I feel like there's going to be some good opportunities for them next game week. So yeah, I'm not. You guys can ask me as many times as you like, and I know you will. Should you sell Rashford or Fernandes? You are not going to get me to say yes. You're not going to get me to say yes. If you want to do it yourself, fair enough. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing it myself. Quick look at my team for this upcoming game week before we go any further. And like I said, I feel like I'm looking pretty good. I'm looking pretty good. So yeah, I'm the one kind of swap, I guess, is putting on Turner instead of Johnston. Obviously, Sheffield United going to be kind of weak in front of goal this season. We imagine they're probably going to score some of the fewest goals this season. And I didn't actually think Forest were that bad. I thought Turner had a good debut despite conceding a couple of goals. Was able to make a couple of saves there and didn't do too badly. So, yeah, I kind of like Turner. And I think the fact that Turner is playing against Sheffield United and Johnston is playing against Arsenal, Turner playing against one of the worst attacks, Johnston playing against one of the best attacks. I feel like that is one scenario where I would consider, rotating those goalkeepers. Generally, I'm not a fan of rotating goalkeepers at all, but I think in an extreme situation, as long as you are not, rotating every game week and trying to kind of chase points and chase good fixtures, yeah, I would try to stick with your one goalkeeper, but for me, Turner against Sheffield United is a little bit too good to resist. I would probably say I would probably play Pickford against Villa, I imagine, and I would possibly play Onana against Spurs, even though Turner does look like a good pick. So for this game week, but yeah, because Johnston has got such a bad fixture compared to Onana and Pickford and on some of these other, maybe you've got Flecken or some other goalkeepers that you guys seem to have. I feel like Johnston, it's kind of obvious to play Turner, but aside from that, I wouldn't be that keen to play Turner. I wouldn't be that keen because we are expecting Forest to concede goals this season. I've got another super chat from Abby Manu. Says, Trossard, hold another week or sell. Would possibly be looking to sell Trossard. He'd be one of the, one of those players who I would not be too keen on keeping as long as you don't have any problems elsewhere on your pitch. Crystal Palace away is not an easy fixture. They were one of the stronger defences last season. So, Trossard, who we don't even know if he's guaranteed to play, let alone score against a tough defence. I feel like that's the kind of player we could consider removing, especially with Jesus on the horizon. He should be back by around game week 4. So, yeah, making good progress apparently is Gabriel Jesus. He had his minor operation a couple of weeks ago. And, he's looking to get back into training this week. So, yeah, could be back by game week 4. 3 or 4, probably. Probably 4, to be honest. So, yeah, Trossard, even if he does, do okay over the next few game weeks, he's still going to be a player you need to replace eventually. So Abimanu, if you have Trossard, I would be looking to sell him. Maddison, it would be a good pick for you. I like the look of BRUYNE and Bumo as well for those kind of midfield positions. So yeah, that's the kind of move I'd be thinking about making. Ali Sheik has given me a super chat here though without a message though. Thank you very much, Ali. Really do appreciate that. That's really, really good to see. But yeah, this is what my team is looking like right now. Probably going to maybe change Rashford vice captain to maybe Watkins vice captain. Let's save that. And I think that looks pretty good. I think I'm pretty content with that. And hopefully another decent game week for what is a reasonably template team with a couple of cheeky ones in there, Maddison, Chilwell and Watkins. So let's see what happens. Oliver here says, late to the live pal, but how many points did you get? Gabriel and Stones in my team. Keep them both, roll it or what? Got Chilwell already and Estupinian. Oh wow, so you got a lot of money in the back line right now. I would probably be, well, first of all, my points I got, where is it? 86. So yeah, pretty decent start for me. Pretty happy with that. Definitely having Johnston and Maddison as my kind of differentials kind of paid off this week, I feel like. In terms of Gabriel and Stones, we know Stones is coming back soon. We know Gabriel is probably going to come back into this Arsenal team as well. So you could, if you have no other problems in your team, you could maybe swap one of Gabriel or Stones. Would possibly downgrade one of them and trying to escape the having so much money in the defence, really. Maybe go for a Colwell. We haven't really seen too many clean sheets this game week, have we? If we look at the game week 1 fixtures, the only clean sheets were Man City, Fulham, Crystal Palace, and Manchester United. And out of those teams, well, I mean, you can say that Everton perhaps could have maybe, Fulham, could have maybe conceded goals. Everton could have scored a goal quite easily in that game. Everton could have had a lot of chances to score. So Everton unlucky not to score, but I guess they're Everton, aren't they? And Manchester United really, really lucky to keep that clean sheet as well. So far, the clean sheets don't look so good. So we'll be looking to pull the money out of defence if possible. I think that's kind of where I'd be looking at. A few more questions here on the Super Chats. Callum says, people asking about Gabriel, mate, tell him to hold. It's a really difficult question, and for me, I would be waiting. I mean, it's difficult for me because I don't have Gabriel myself, so I can't really tell you on instinct what I'd be doing. But I think unless I was chasing price changes, and we'll talk about price changes at the end of the stream, I would be waiting for Arsenal news. I'd be waiting for the press conference to see what the situation is, because the most disappointing thing about Gabriel being benched was even when Jurriën Timber was injured, and it looks like it's a bad injury, by the way, guys. Could be out for a decent amount of time. Even when Timber came off the pitch, well, it was Tomiyasu who came on. So, where is the place for Gabriel? Depends on the system Arsenal play. Are they going to play the same system again, like they did against Forest, against Crystal Palace? Some people kind of speculating that Arsenal might play this kind of system against some of the lower block teams, and Crystal Palace are probably one of those low block teams. And again, at the same time, if they don't have Timber to really properly utilize this new system, would they possibly just revert back to the kind of a more similar system that they were using last season with the two central centre backs, with Gabriel and Saliba there as the two centre backs? They could definitely do that as well if Timber's out, because they might be thinking, well, we've got no Timber to use this new strategy. What do we do? So, yeah, I wish I had a straight answer for you. I personally would be waiting for press conferences to see what Arteta has to say about everything, see if we can get any kind of clues there. But if you are worried and you feel like Gabriel in future game weeks could become a problem, and he could become a problem in the future, then I would make a move for Chilwell. If you don't have Chilwell or Estupinian, those two players, if you are able to go for Gabriel to Estupinian or Chilwell, and you don't have those players already, I would be making that move. Those are the two players I would be making the move for. Outside of that, I would be more tempted to hold. So I don't know if that's helping you guys or not. A lot of you guys are either going to already have a Estupinian or Chilwell, or maybe you have a Estupinian but you can't quite afford Chilwell. These are going to cause some problems potentially. But yeah, Gabriel to Chilwell, if you don't have Chilwell already, would be a move that I'd be strongly considering. I think Chilwell alongside Erling Haaland, right now, those two players seem to be the two most essential picks at the moment, the two most important players to have in your team. Estupinian not too far behind them in that regard. And what other players would I put up there? Maybe like an Ollie Watkins. That maybe he's looking pretty good for the new game week. So yeah, Callum, that's what I would say. And to anyone else thinking about removing Gabriel, just transfer him to Estupinian, transfer him to Chilwell. If you are not going for either of those two players, and then maybe it might be time. Might be time to wait and see on that one. Wait a few more days and maybe even wait a few more game weeks. Jakob says, Gabriel stick or out? Hopefully, Jakob, I've just answered that question for you as well. Depends who you can afford to bring in. Whenever I look at transfers personally, something that, something I've kind of learned to do and try to do more as I kind of play FPL is not just look at who I'm buying, but who I'm selling. These come as a pair. A lot of people say, should I sell such and such player? Well, it depends who you're buying. Should I buy such and such player? Well, depends who you're selling. So these kind of things work in tandem. Gabriel is definitely sellable. He's definitely one of those players that you'll have in your team right now, who is one of those players who, you could possibly sell. I mean, I often try and identify in my own team, which of these players would I be happy to sacrifice? Right now, I'd be probably happy to sacrifice maybe Martinelli. Small concerns about him and minutes. Not massively keen on the Crystal Palace fixture, but I do like that Fulham fixture. So I'm going to hold Martinelli. But he is one of those players who I would be more comfortable selling. Saliba would be another player I'd be more comfortable selling. Outside of that, I'm not really comfortable with selling anyone. And even, Martinelli and Saliba, I still want to have these players. I still want to keep these players. So for me, I'm not comfortable with selling those players. But if you've got the likes of Stones or Gabriel, these are two players that you would be comfortable selling. So now you've identified two players that you are comfortable with selling. Next stage is, who can I bring in to replace them? And that is a significant improvement on them, because I do feel like every transfer you make, particularly at this early stage of the season, where you shouldn't need to make too many transfers, because a lot of the players you picked for game week 1 presumably you picked them for a slightly longer period than just first game week. So hopefully you'll still have a little bit of faith in them, unless they are injured or unless they are rotation risk. So yeah, that's what I would say in general on that point. And hopefully that's a good little tip for you guys to take forward. Craig says, do I hold Gabriel for one more game week to see if he's definitely... Oh, everyone's asking about Gabriel, aren't they? Okay, this is going to be a Gabriel stream. Maybe we'll have a look at some defenders in slightly more detail. Okay, so Craig says, do I hold Gabriel for one more game week to seeing he's definitely not getting game time, or transfer out to Saliba / another Chelsea defender already got Chilwell? Yeah, this is the problem. I am not keen on the Gabriel to Saliba move. The reason is, if you have Gabriel and you're moving to Saliba, all you're doing is throwing your hands up and saying, I am behind. I am behind and I'm going to stay behind. I'm just moving to the player everyone else is moving to, and I'm not going to benefit. Whoever had Saliba before me, I'm just going to sit behind them in the rankings. It doesn't feel aggressive enough for me. It doesn't seem like enough of a difference. There's every chance that Gabriel from here on actually outscores Saliba. We know Gabriel has the vastly superior attacking threat. If they both manage to start, Gabriel could do far better. But instead, if you switch to Saliba, not only do you just, all you do is catch yourself up to everyone else's team, but you're just 1 week behind everyone else and one transfer behind everyone else. Suddenly you've potentially got a situation where you actually regret your decision as well. If I'm moving Gabriel on, I'd want to make a significant improvement, because I'm not convinced he's a bad enough pick that I would just trade him out for anyone. I don't just want anyone as my Gabriel replacement. I want to make a significant improvement. So yeah, for you, Craig, I will possibly keep him. You could go for Reece James if you wanted to. I don't mind that one. I think that is definitely a valid kind of pick going forward that could get you the big points. We know James is potentially on penalties, and we did see him in some decent positions. I will go through Chelsea a little bit in a moment. You say you already got Chilwell, so... yeah, I mean, James is definitely an option for you. It's definitely an option. Let's keep going through some of these Super Chat guys, because I know you guys are sending me a lot, which I really, really appreciate, by the way. Ali says, Enzo new attacking role could have got a golden assist. Oh, I'm not convinced by that one. We can say he's attacking role, but it's more like a box-to-box role, which I'm not really convinced is particularly new either, really. So, yeah, box-to-box Enzo... I don't know. I mean, I feel like you're maybe trying to just look for a cheap player out there to go for, but yeah, not really where I would be looking personally, Ali. To be fair, I feel like from Chelsea in particular, and we're possibly going to want to have the best Chelsea players given their upcoming fixtures. I would be looking at primarily Chilwell, James, Colwill for a cheap guy in defence, and Nicholas Jackson as well. I think will be good going forward, and definitely a player we can consider having. And I feel like Enzo is a bit of a waste of a spot. Not really convinced he's going to get too many attacking returns throughout the course of the season. Fuel Your Grind says KDB injury. Unsure if I go for Salah. Thoughts? If you can afford to go straight from KDB to Salah, then I say go for it. Why not? Why not? If you've got the money in the bank, you've got 2 million in the bank to make that upgrade from De Bruyne to Salah, then that's a pretty straightforward move for me. So yeah, I would be doing that. I think I would be doing that. It's a good way of taking a disadvantage and turning it into an advantage. And let's just carry on through this. I feel like we will go through some proper replacements for Gabriel and De Bruyne. And maybe John Stones as well. So I feel like those more expensive midfielders and defenders at 5.5 or less, we do need to have a look at those and try and kind of scout which guys we want. The Truong fam says, change Foden to Maddison or Mbeumo to Maddison. Neither, Truong. I would keep both of those players. Foden, more nailed on now that De Bruyne is out. Still got some really good fixtures coming up for Manchester City. I would be keeping Foden. And Mbeumo, he's the one player I'm really worried about not owning in Game Week 2. So, I'm jealous that you have Mbeumo and you want to switch him to Maddison. No way. Keep Mbeumo, in my opinion, on penalties. Will have a lot of opportunities to score goals against Fulham, who looked really, really leaky against Everton. I feel like a better team like Brentford could really put Fulham to the sword in the next fixture. Vinjar says, Watkins for captain against Everton over Haaland. If you are desperate to go different, then Watkins is one of the players I would consider for sure. But yeah, I would still urge you to be sensible-ish at this stage of the season and stick with Haaland and maybe Salah. But look, if you want to go for Watkins, you want to be super different, then that's possibly the place I would go. on that bad boy, on that captaincy. Someone random with the £10 super chat. My sugar daddy is back. Not going to lie, United didn't impress me. I have Rashford and I'll keep him, but they didn't look good. I think Spurs and the rest of the top six, including Newcastle, will just score more. Maybe good to get defenders from them. Possibly, but I don't think they defended particularly well either, to be fair, Manchester United. I would definitely give Rashford another go against Spurs, because I think Spurs will concede chances. Lolp says, is the risk of going from Bruno to Luis Diaz worth it? I would not be doing that personally. No, I would not. Callum says, good advice, mate. I have Chilwell and a Stupinian. Well, in that case, it's getting pretty difficult to decide on a replacement. But like I say, I feel like once I just get through these super chats, I will go through some replacements for you guys, and hopefully that will help out just a little bit. So let's find the next super chat, make sure we're covering all of them. Appreciate it a lot, guys, sending the super chats today. Really helps support the channel. You guys are absolute legends. Abimanu, the latest of the legends. Trossard to Diaby / Spurs mid / Mbumo. Madison or Mbumo would be the two players I'll be looking at. Abimanu, if you want to replace Trossard. That's where I'd be going. Jananya says, Martinelli and Cash to Diaby and Chilwell for -4. Only considering because maybe Cash unsure whether he starts, and Diaby could maybe match Martinelli. I'm not keen on it, my friend. I feel like if Cash starts again, he had a good chance to score in that opening game against Newcastle. I would really consider keeping Cash. I know he might not start, but with Tyrone Mings out, I feel like the chances of Cash playing has increased just slightly. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe it's gone the other way. Yeah, it's difficult to say, isn't it? Maybe we need to have a look at some more predicted lineups for next game week, don't we? But yeah, Diaby and Chilwell are obviously two great picks, but I would maybe not want to take that -4. I still would like Martinelli in my team for that Fulham game in 3, and Cash, if he plays, which he quite possibly will, then he hopefully should do quite well against Everton. You would imagine that's a good opportunity for a clean sheet for a team like Aston Villa. I don't think they're going to make the same mistakes as they did against Newcastle. I would not suddenly assume Villa are a bad defence. I just don't think they are. I got a new member of the channel, Niall Plume. Thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Make sure you are spamming some emojis, and we'll keep an eye out for your chats as well. I really appreciate that. Niall actually says hi everyone there after he joined as a member as well. So thank you very much, Niall, and welcome. Tanin says swap Gabriel for Timber. Oh, I hope you mean before the Game Week 1 deadline. Otherwise, that would be a nightmare if you made that as soon as you saw the Arsenal lineup and you made that switch. Man, that would be a pretty depressing start to the season, right? But swap Gabriel for Timber, assuming before Game Week 1. Have Colwill to cover if I hold. Decided to bring Foden in when I heard he was starting. Move him out. No, Foden I would definitely keep. Foden is a keep. And I feel like on my buy, sell, keep, avoid video tomorrow, we're going to have to talk about Phil Foden, because so many people are thinking about selling him. No, not for me. I would be looking to keep Phil Foden. In terms of, swapping out Timber, he is out. He is out for the long term. You're not going to get anything out of him anytime soon. If you can't afford to go for a Chilwell maybe, or a Stupinian, well, you can afford to go for a Stupinian if you don't have him already. But if you can't afford to go for Chilwell, I would maybe wait one more week and then make 2 transfers instead of 1. That saves yourself making the -4, and you get to just play Colwill for this game week. But yeah, Gabriel or Timber, or whoever else you have in defence that you might want to remove. Chilwell is your replacement. He really is. It's the right move, I think. We got Tanin here as well. Oh wait, no. We just spoke about Tanin, right? Tanin, we've done you. I think we're almost done with the super chats now. Abin Manu, thank you for becoming a member, which is very nice of you indeed. And we got a super chat here from Football Skills 123, but there is no message attached. So thank you, Football Skills 123, but I can't see any message attached. Now I think let's have a look at some replacements. So we're going to be using Fantasy Football Hub. This is the way. A lot of you guys have heard me hyping up Fantasy Football Hub already. I know a lot of you guys have also subscribed over the last week or so. You guys hopefully are loving it so far. I know I'm loving it so far this season. We're going to use it to help us figure out a new player. They're like, this is how I do it. This is how I do it. And this is why I feel like this tool is just so important. And I know a lot of you guys also said you're new subscribers to Hub and you'd like to see a little bit of a demonstration. Well,
Here we have it. Here we have it. Here's the demonstration. And of course, if you would like to try this out for yourself, you can use some of the free tools on the website, but definitely do recommend getting the full subscription. You get 50% off using the link in the description. Try it out. Hopefully you're going to see some stuff right now that you like. I would urge you to get involved because it is so powerful in terms of helping you find out which players and identify targets. So I'm going to show you what I would typically do if I'm looking for a new player, my process to just start getting some ideas on the board. Callum, thank you very much for becoming a member. A couple of super chats and now a member of the channel. Callum, you're an absolute legend, my friend. Right, so yeah, this is how I would typically do it. So in the kind of thinking stage, we know we've got to remove a player, but we're not really sure what kind of player we'd like to bring in. We just want some ideas generated for us, and that's exactly where the Fantasy Football Hub predicted points tool comes in very, very handy for giving you some suggestions of players that it predicts to do quite well. Nevermax, thank you for the super sticker there. Appreciate that, my friend. So yeah, these are the players who are predicted to do well between game week 2 and 5. So we're going to change it to between game week 2 and 5 and see who it likes. So Trent Alexander-Arnold is obviously up here, but if we're looking to replace Gabriel, Stones, Timber, then we're not going to quite be able to afford a Trent Alexander-Arnold, are we? So I'm going to bring the player price down to something a little bit more reasonable. I'm going to go to 6. I feel like that's a little bit more reasonable. So about 1 million within the price bracket of the kind of players we're looking for. And FPL Ari, new member of the channel. Again, really appreciate that, Ari. Welcome, welcome, welcome. To membership of the channel. I know you've been around a little while, Ari. I see you on Twitter quite a lot, but it's nice to see you joining the stream and joining as a member as well, man. Okay, right. So yeah, so these are the kind of players with high predicted points in the defender position between the prices of 4 million and 6 million. And no surprise to see Mr. Benjamin Chilwell right at the tippy topper-rooney. So yeah, let's first of all, let's talk about Chilwell. Why am I hyping up Chilwell so much? Why was I hyping up Chilwell so much before the season even started? Well, we've got our evidence, guys. We've got our evidence. So before the season started, we saw that Chilwell was playing super advanced on that left-hand side in those friendly games. It was very obvious that Pochettino really saw Chilwell as more of an attacker than a defender. Now I'm going to show you in the first proper game of the season against Liverpool how Chelsea lined up. So it was a little something like this. Yeah, an interesting formation which basically saw Chelsea play really with one true winger, as in Raheem Sterling himself. And why is that flashing? I don't know, but you guys can get over that, I'm sure. Reece James was playing kind of as a right midfielder, but that left a bit of a wonk because Chilwell was essentially playing as the left winger, and he was getting involved. He was going forward. He was, really behind the striker, in front of the striker, getting involved all around in these nice areas here, playing off that left-hand side. He was the left winger of the team, despite the fact that in FPL, he's listed as a 5.5 million defender. So we saw in pre-season, Chilwell, super advanced, a player that obviously Pochettino trusts to get forward. We saw that Chilwell got the assist. He had a goal ruled off for offside marginally. He could have had a goal in that game from that offside. Took a bad touch. Could have got another goal there in that game as well. He was, if you guys who watched that game, you won't need me to tell you, he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal and really identified himself as a solid pick. Reece James, still good, but not quite as advanced as Chilwell. Not quite as central as Chilwell. So still in a pretty good positions for a defender. This is not bad. This is not a bad place to be. But in general, we did kind of see Chilwell by far the more advanced of the two, by far the more dangerous player. Now, I don't know if we're going to maybe see Chelsea go back to a back four, so that could involve maybe going to something a little bit like, maybe, I don't know, maybe going for another winger here, put Chilwell here, and then do something a little bit more like, it will be like something, I don't know, something a little bit like this maybe, Enzo here maybe, and Gallagher like, hang on, put you there. Something like this, and then go with Mudryk here instead. This is another way they could potentially line up as well. That's a possibility. But either way, you are once again seeing that Chilwell is by far the more advanced. So when I say, Gabriel replacements, Stones replacements, go for Chilwell, I don't really mean Chilwell or James. James is still good, But if you're picking one of the two players, Chilwell is, to me, as far as what I've seen in pre-season, what I've seen, all the set pieces that he's taken, what I've seen in that opening Liverpool game, there is a big difference right now between Chilwell and James. It's not that James is a bad pick, but Chilwell is an insane pick. He's on another level right now. So just wanted to give you just some kind of context really as to why I am hyping up Chilwell so much, and I hope that it's justified. And also, guys, this is new to the streams. This kind of lineup things, we've got them for all of the teams where we can kind of show you a little bit about how teams are lining up, where players are playing, etc., etc. So this is all new to the channel this season. So if you like this kind of stuff, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments as well if you want to see more kind of tactical talk about how teams are lining up, which players are looking dangerous and in which positions. Let me know. Leave a like as well if you're enjoying it as well. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more of that kind of stuff. I'm aware we've got a fair few super chats here as well. So let's roll through these as quickly as we can. Really do appreciate that, guys. Tanin says, touching on previous SC super chat, I have Chilwell, Estupiñán, Timber, Colwill, and Udogie. So if I don't move Foden out, who do you suggest I bring in for Timber? In your situation, Tanin, I would just downgrade Timber straight to a 4 million, and I feel like it would be a blessing in disguise. You can then rotate Colwill and Udogie. They're going to be pretty useful to you most game weeks anyway. Can even rotate well with Estupiñán. I don't think you actually need to have a final defender in that slot. Timber all the way down to probably Kabore of Luton and bank 1 million for future game weeks. And that could be pretty nice going forward. That could be really nice to have that extra 1 million in your pocket for a future game week. You might actually find yourself really glad you did that. So yeah, that's what I would do, Tanin. Downgrade. You don't need five playing centre backs. Supremacy says Bruno and Rashford out, Salah and Mbeumo in. Thoughts? I think it's I would not be doing it personally. That's what I will say. I have both of those. I have both Bruno and Rashford, and I have neither Salah or Mbeumo, and there is not a bone in my body that's telling me to do that. So I'm going to say Supremacy that I would not do that one. Even if you're captaining Salah, I feel like Bruno and Rashford, a second bite of the cherry against Spurs. Things can be different. We've only had one game. We know how good these players are. I would not let one game cloud your judgment too much. I know it's very easy in these early stages of the season to kind of get a little bit impatient and worrisome because after game week 1, the data we have from game week 1 is 100% of the season. 100% of the season so far is game week 1 alone. So it's easy to kind of get dragged into worrying about game week 1 when we've only had game week 1 to worry about. But yeah, let's go forward and see what else we've got. Niall here says, was a pleasure meeting you at Festan. Hope your game week went well, bud. Oh, Niall, it's you. Niall, man, like I was thinking, oh yeah, Niall, new member of the channel. But then I remember you. So Niall, I actually met on Friday at the Fantasy Football meetup. So absolutely wicked to have you in the chat, man. So glad you remember because I can now make sure I keep an eye out for your chats as well. Lovely guy, Niall, as well. Really, really good to meet him. And hopefully your season's going so far so good, Niall. Can't remember exactly who you had in your team, but hopefully it's going okay. Callum says, Rashi and Bruno to Salah and Mbeumo from -4. A lot of people were kind of asking for this one. I don't know if I really like the look of that one. I don't really know if I like the look of that one, to be honest, Callum. So, no, not for me. Not for me. It would not be going for that one personally. Super sticker from Pranav. Thank you very much, my friend. Let's go back to these potential replacements because surely we can find some more. Let's have a look here. So Chilwell is a standout. Ruben Diaz, although he missed the first game, it was because of concussion, I believe, or a head injury, something like that. So I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing. Should be straight back in the Man City side for the following game week. Kanji is risky with minutes, but I feel like maybe he gets next game. Or does Walker? I can't tell because I feel like it's going to be Ake or Gavardiol in the left centre-back position. Ruben Dias is going to come straight back through the middle of the defence. And we could see either Akanji or Walker on the right. It's a coin toss. So I'm not liking the look of Akanji, but good to get some ideas from the predicted points tool. Stones, they think he's going to be back. Oh, well, actually, no, they don't, because they're predicting 2.2 points in this next fixture. But they're predicting he's going to be back in game week 3. So maybe that's a sign that we actually keep Stones, because the AI is predicting that he could possibly stay. We've got Reece James here as well, so he is an alternative. and of course, Estupinian. So for me, looking through these, I've identified a few targets immediately. So if you are a Gabriel owner right now and you have a lot of concerns in your life, and I wouldn't blame you if you did have some concerns in your life, these are the players I would be picking. I would be picking Chilwell, Ruben Dias, Reece James, Pervis Estupinian, and Colwill. Straight off the bat, these are kind of players I've been thinking about anyway. Could maybe go for Rico Henry at a push, but no, not. I don't hate that, to be fair. Yeah, Rico Henry, I guess, is the other player. Yeah, I would throw him in there as well. Would not be going for Saliba. I think it's too sideways. I think it's too boring. I could go for Ezri Konsa. Wouldn't be going elsewhere. So yes, okay. So we've got it. We've got, hopefully now, a list of replacements for your Gabriel or your Stones if you want to replace them. If you've got Timber as well, you want to replace him. If you've got Tyrone Mings, you want to replace him. Chilwell, Ruben Dias, Reece James, Pervis Estupinian, Colwill, and Rico Henry. There's 6 suggestions there for you, and I like the look of all of them. I like the look of every single one of those guys. But yeah, Chilwell was the priority. My second choice would be between Ruben and James. If you can't, and Estupinian, to be fair. Probably put Estupinian way up in that category. But I know most of you guys have him already, so there's not much point in me talking about him. If you can't quite afford to go for those kind of players, Colwill and Henry. Colwill and Henry I like. Pranav says, I have Colwill. Should I still get Chilwell? Thoughts? Yes. No matter who you are, where you are, if you don't have Chilwell, he should probably be your number 1 transfer target right now, in my personal opinion. It's just my personal opinion, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. Yeah, transfer target number 1 is Chilwell if you don't have him already, no matter who else you have. Niall says, I really like Henry at the moment. Don't blame me, man. Do not blame me. He looks pretty good as well. Ryan X says Udogie. Yeah, I like Udogie, but only from game week 3 onwards. So after we get to game week 3, at that point, I would be thinking about Udogie. Yeah. But look, good player, good pick. But I would be waiting for after this Manchester United game, I think. I think anyway. Ruben's injury is serious? No, it's not. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue on because a few people are asking about potentially replacing some midfielders. So we're going to go change to the midfield category. Once again, guys, if you want to use this tool, it's Fantasy Football Hub. You can click the link on the description. You can get access to this tool and some of the other tools I'm going to share with you today and get 50% off them. Really, really strongly recommend. So for this one, let's just go any player price. If you're replacing De Bruyne, then I would not be too worried about price. I mean, even Salah is not that more expensive, right? But yeah, straight away, guys, those of you guys asking me about Bruno Fernandes, you can see, of course, that the machine learning, which takes everything into consideration, is still thinking that Rashford and Bruno are going to be 2 of the highest scoring players over the next 4 game weeks. So I've put this from game week 2 to 5. So next 4 game weeks, is that... Yeah, that's 4 game weeks. Yeah, still really, really high on this list. So not players that I'd be looking to remove. It's only Salah that's predicted more points over the next 5. Maddison is gone in there and he's flown up. Yeah, after the first game, I feel like the AI has thought, all right, this Maddison guy kind of looks like it could be a decent player. Well, some of you guys have been following the FPL Mate channel over the last week will have already known all about James Maddison because he's another player I've been hyping up a lot. So definitely another transfer target, I would say. Definitely a player I'd be strongly looking at. Vinjar says, have Gabriel, can't change him now. Start Udogie. You could just start Udogie. If you can't change him now, then just start Udogie. What other choice do you have, really? So yeah, you don't really have a dilemma if you don't have a choice. Yeah, so look, going back to this, Rashford, Fernandes, if we're looking for another good midfielder to go for instead of De Bruyne, Salah, Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Maddison there. I think Maddison would be a nice pick to go for. And a good way, I talk about this a lot, but turning disadvantages into advantages, because a lot of people will be kind of stuck in many ways with the midfielders that they have already. Either because they want them for future game weeks, or they don't want to give up on them quite yet. When you got a player like De Bruyne who is injured and you're worried about them because they're injured, well, you've been forced to make a transfer. You're forced to make a transfer, and you have that ability to bring in a player that not a lot of other people will be able to without making significant sacrifices in their team. And other people might be wasting their transfer. You actually have an opportunity to really improve your team. And yeah, Maddison would definitely be on the wish list. De Bruyne to Maddison, that sounds pretty good to me as well, because you can save a lot of money. Put 3 million in your cheeky little bank account to spend on a future game week. That would be pretty good, right? 3 million. I know it sounds like 3 million is a lot to leave in the bank, but like future you is going to be thanking you. When you want to upgrade João Pedro to a Ollie Watkins or a Nicholas Jackson or someone like that, you will thank yourself. You'll thank your past self for giving you all that money in the bank, believe me. Nothing wrong with putting a bit of money in the bank, man. Nothing wrong with it. Pranav says, should I get Luis Diaz or Jackson for Game Week 2? I mean, I don't know if... I would still prefer Maddison to Luis Diaz. I don't mind Luis Diaz as a pick, but I do think I prefer Maddison. In terms of Nicholas Jackson, yeah, I feel like he's a decent pick as well. But like I was kind of saying earlier, depends who you're removing. It really does depend who you're removing. If you're removing a terrible player, then crack on. If you're actually removing and I know I'm not going to be able to convince you guys, a lot of you guys. It is what it is. There is no way I'm removing Rashford and Bruno Fernandes unless they are injured or it seems like they're not going to be playing in Game Week 2. That's the only way I don't play Bruno. Don't have Bruno and Rashford come Game Week 2. I will be keeping them. And you will not catch me advising to sell either of those players. If you really feel like you want to do it anyway, absolutely fair enough. Maddison will probably be top of my wish list. But not really a direction I'd like to go for. Not really a direction I'd like to go for. Chilwell captain. I'm not sure if I'm that keen, Scott, but yeah, nice suggestion anyway. All right, guys, so we've had a look at some replacements. So there's some midfield replacements. We spoke about some defensive replacements as well. I don't really feel like there's many forwards that need to be replaced, but I do want to quickly just have a look at this, because already today we did a transfer tier list of the most popular transfers in and whether I thought they were good or bad. Definitely recommend you go check that video out if you haven't done already. But basically, we just go through all of these most popular transfers in: Isaac, Chilwell, Saka, Rodrigo, Saliba, etc., etc. And I kind of put them onto a tier list, kind of deciding whether I think they're a great buy or actually not such a good buy. But a few comments did say, Dan, what about selling players? Which players should I sell? So let's go through some of the most popular sells quickly. De Bruyne, yeah, sell him. Mings, sell him. Kane, sell him. So any player who's got really any kind of dark shade of, I don't know, kind of maybe a corn-flavoured snack. It looks like next to their name, you see the little triangle? It looks like a little corn flavour snack, little exclamation mark in the middle. Maybe some kind of Dorito of death. Looks like a Dorito. If the Dorito is quite spicy, you can see there's a hot and warm flavour to the Dorito, then yeah, I would be thinking about removing those players. I wouldn't have a second thought about that. Easy remove, easy sells. If they've got a more of a, I don't know, maybe a more of a mild Dorito, such as John Stones, I would think about it a little bit more. There are optional sells, but they are not definite sells. And Urian Timber here, I know he's only got a very cool flavoured Dorito there. Maybe not really cheese on it. It's just cool original kind of Dorito next to Urian Timber. I think that's going to be upgraded to a very spicy Dorito before too long because the injury looks bad. AZ, quickly with a super chat here, says, we have 90% the same team. I'm really happy and not even thinking of a transfer. Good man. But really, man, I'm so scared of Game Week 2 without Salah or any Liverpool player. I mean, I'm guessing you watched Liverpool play against Chelsea. It was not that impressive. I mean, look, Liverpool are probably going to score a couple of goals against Bournemouth, but look, going through the rest of the season and the future fixtures Liverpool have, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to not have Liverpool players. They are optional. You can have them or you can't have them. But the point is, you can't have them all. And if you want someone like Salah, you have to make significant sacrifices elsewhere in your team. And for me, just not personally prepared to make those sacrifices. So I'm not really worried, man, to go about Salah, but understand if other people are. That's kind of down to you. For me, not really concerned. The amount of good stuff I've been able to do with my team, good players I've been able to buy by sacrificing Salah, I'm not too bothered. I'm not going to captain Salah Game Week 2 anyway. It's not really a big deal. FPL Ari says, would you rather bring in Maddison or Watkins? They'd be replacing either Mitoma or Archer. Thinking of rolling the transfer too. What do you think? I mean, Archer is not a player you ever really want to start. So, yeah, straight away, if you can go Archer to Watkins in one transfer, that seems a real improvement to your team. Kaoru Mitoma, I would not be looking to replace, though. I'd want to keep him for a little while longer. So he's, no, I would not be looking to replace Mitoma. Even for Madison, just would not be really doing it. Would not be doing it at all. So yeah, no. No, thank you. All right, continuing on. So some of these other players, like Gabriel, he's an optional sell. He's an optional sell. Darwin, I would keep. Erdegaard, I would keep. Eze. The only people selling Eze are people who did not watch the Crystal Palace game, or maybe didn't even watch the highlights of the Crystal Palace game, or didn't even just look at the stats. I mean, let's look. I mean, look, this is an opportunity to bang out the Fantasy Football Hub stats tool, the Opta stats tool, another great feature on this wonderful website. You get all of these features all in the same place. It's insane. So looking into the Game Week 1 numbers, and I'm going to order this by expected points. And hopefully we're going to see Eze fairly high up here compared to how he actually performed, because he was creating, he was shooting. I can't see him anywhere. Maybe it wasn't quite as good as I thought. Let's just search him. Let's search for Eze. There we have it. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, surely that's 5.72 predicted points. Well, should have got that amount of points. Here he is. So he is on the first page still. So, yeah, looking at Eze, we can see his numbers from that opening game. 8 shots, 5 of them in the box. Pretty low XG. I'm wondering if that needs to update still. I mean, I guess none of them were super high, super good chances to score. But 7 key passes as well. 1 big chance created, 0.69 XA. So really a player taking loads of shots, making loads of chances for his teammates. Really unlucky not to get more points. So I would be looking to keep him even against Arsenal. I feel like he could definitely do some damage. After that, we've got the likes of Brentford, Wolves, Aston Villa, Fulham. So maybe there's some opportunities there for points as well. Would be looking to keep Eze, I think, if you've gone for him already. Ollie Watkins, no way I'd be selling him. Again, another player who looks super, super good. Let's have a look at Watkins' numbers on the Opta Stats tool. Yeah, here we go. To be fair, this doesn't tell the whole story, but he had 2 shots, 2 in the box. I feel like he also created 2 real chances for his teammates. One was the obviously the one that led to the goal with Diaby. Really nice pass there. But the other one, which won't be picked up on the stats, was he took a shot. It was saved by Nick Pope. It came out to Matty Cash for pretty much an open goal, and Cash just blasted it wide and over. It was bad. So Watkins would have had a second assist there. But yeah. He could have also got a goal, Watkins, as well. He took a really good shot, was so close to going in. So, yeah, Watkins looked, in my mind, pretty impressive in the opening game week, so we would not be looking to sell him either. Ruben should be back for next game, so I wouldn't be selling him. Trippier was a terrible pick in the first place, so, yes, sell him. Zinchenko's interesting. Let's see if he's back. Wilson, every chance he starts next game, but, yeah, we'll probably be looking to sell him. Grealish, probably keep him, probably comes in for the next game, right? Gabriel Jesus, probably sell him. Trossard, yeah, probably sell him as well. Cancelo, sell. And Nkunku, sell. McAllister, I would maybe be keeping him. Ben Mee, again, maybe be keeping him, even though I don't really feel like McAllister and Ben Mee are good picks. I would probably be keeping them at this point. Almor, I feel like, is quite easy to sell. Nicholas Jackson, there's no way I'd be selling him. Mitrovic, probably sell. Mitoma, keep. Foden, keep. Gakpo, keep. Ramsdale, keep. James, keep. And Ciso, sell. So I'm imagining you guys probably have some of those players. Hopefully I've gone through pretty much all of them and given you my opinion on those ones. So yeah, that's that gone through very, very briefly. Let's continue on. There's a few more things I want to do before we finish off the stream. So I want to do... First of all, I want to do a look at the price changes, because that's pretty important this stage of the season. So let's have a look at the price changes. Actually, no, before we do that, I want to have a quick look at my AI transfers as well. And see what the AI thinks I should do as my transfers, because I don't think I need to make a transfer. I'm going to find out if that's true or not, or maybe I'm missing something, because this is kind of useful. Watkins to Nicholas Jackson. Predicted same points in game week 2, but it feels like after that, it looks like it's saying game week 3, there is a little bit of a split here, and maybe by game week 3, I should be looking to do Watkins to Jackson. So that is not a possible transfer for me. All right, let's let's say don't sell Watkins. Recommend me a new transfer, my friend. Let's see, what else you got for me? I'd be interested to know what your recommended transfers are as well, guys. Saliba to Colwill? Again, wouldn't be making that in Game Week 2 because he's got higher predicted points in Game Week 2, but it's saying over the slightly longer term, maybe Colwill could actually do better than Saliba. So if I need to free up 0.5 million, there we go. This has helped me a lot, to be fair. If I need to free up 0.5 million for maybe a double transfer in Game Week 3, Saliba down to Colwill could be the play. Interesting. Badiashile is the only worry there, isn't it? But let's try one more recommended transfer for myself. Because so far, all of these are kind of saying, this transfer might be good from Game Week 3 onwards. But right now, Dan, you're absolutely fine, my friend, which is good. Once again, I know a few people asking what website is this. Link in the description. And this one is saying Johnston. It says Sanchez. But again, saying maybe wait till next game week. Interesting. Don't really like making goalkeeper transfers, but I have to say, Sanchez, now we know he's starting for Chelsea. I have to say, it is definitely a goalkeeper I would be having a very close look at. He's probably would be my primary goalkeeper target at this moment, to be fair. Definitely something to consider. Right, anyway, we've done that. I've had a look at that. Like I say, I'll be interested to see what you guys are getting for your AI transfers. What you're kind of being suggested. Are you getting suggested similar things to me? But right now, we need to have a look at, well, these are all the tools, but I want to have a look at the price changes tool. Let's see here. Okay, we're getting some price changes tonight. So let me explain how this price changes tool works, because this is really, really useful, particularly at early stage of the season, where, like, price changes are so chaotic and you can get priced out of players before you even know. I check this every single day, probably multiple times a day. I check it once kind of in the evening to get a rough idea, and then price changes change, I believe, at 2:30 a.m. UK time, so middle of the night for me. Maybe if you're in different time zones, you can be a little bit more on the ball whilst having a look at projected price changes. But the way this tool works, is we can see the trend of whether a player is likely to go up in price or likely to go down in price. It's trending upwards. We've got some upwards green arrows there. That means it looks like they're moving towards a price change. They're moving towards going up in price, right? And we have a target here. And the target is on a scale of 100 to minus 100. Now, if you get above 100, that means the player is going to is predicted to increase in price overnight. So we can see in these examples, we've seen already Saka, his target has broken 100. It's gone over 100. Chilwell and Rodri of Man City, all three of these players, they have gone above their target of 100, which means overnight, these three players are going to increase in price. So this is crunch time for a lot of you guys. If you haven't got Chilwell in your team, you really want to have him, and you are going to be priced out if you don't make this move right now, then you're gonna have to make it right now. If you've got Gabriel and you really want to replace him with Chilwell, but you've only got 0.5 million in your bank, you have to do it tonight. Otherwise, you can't afford to make that move anymore. Chilwell will go to 5.6 million and you'll be priced out. We've got Saka there. Wait, no, Saka? Yeah, Saka there. I mean, I don't really know why he's going up in price other than he scored a goal. I don't know. Saka is a fine pick. He's a fine pick, but I wouldn't expect him to be one of the first to go up in price. We have got also the likes of Rodrigo in there, but honestly, if any of you guys are really, really buying Rodrigo, then you have not been watching enough FPL Mate videos. You need to make sure you subscribe with notifications on, because we'll get you there. We'll get you there, my friend. We'll get you there. But yeah, Saliba is quite far off. His target is only 74.27. So unless that goes up quite a lot between now and 2:30 a.m. UK time, it's pretty unlikely that he is going to go up in price tonight. So you're safe on Saliba, you're safe on Estupinian, you're safe on all other players. The only price change we've had so far is Isak has gone up to 7.6 already. And tonight we're going to get Saka, Chilwell, Rodrigo. Those guys should also go up in price tonight and join Isak in the price rise gang. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, because there are other ends to this spectrum. We're going to click this arrow here. We're going to toggle the sort order, and we're going to flip it this way. So now we're looking at the players with the worst downward trends, the players who are dropping down, the players who are moving their way towards a decrease in price. And just like if you go over 100, you rise in price overnight. If you get to minus 100, you go below minus 100, that means you're going to go down in price overnight. No good, fellas, and no good, fellas, at all. De Bruyne, it's not looking good, Brev. It's not looking good, Brev, because he has a 105 target. So he is very, very likely to go down in price tonight. Yeah, that's not great. So, yeah, De Bruyne owners, like, for example, if you have 2 million in your bank right now, or you want to make 2 transfers that would create 2 million in your bank, and you want to make that move from De Bruyne to Salah, then you might be priced out if you don't do it tonight again. I don't like early transfers. Ideally, it's a little bit risky. You find out so much information and give yourself more time to think about things and make a more rational decision through the week. But if you need to do it, you need to do it. So yeah, De Bruyne is going to go down in price. If you're going for like a Maddison or someone like that, and you're actually going to be kind of saving money by downgrading, then you don't need to do it right now. But if you want to avoid those price changes, you need to remove De Bruyne tonight. Same with Julian Timber, same with John Stones. So John Stones is a double jeopardy. So if you are looking to move Stones to Chilwell, man, do you have to do it right now? Like, you know, even if you want to move Stones to Reece James, if you've got nothing in the bank, then you're going to have to do it now. And unfortunate as it is, you're going to have to do it now. So, yeah. But anyway, someone says Julian Timber is locked. Is he locked because of his injury? He's not been flagged. He's not been given the big red flag yet. So I'm not sure if he's actually been locked or not yet. So I guess we'll see on that bad boy. I said my live rank, by the way, is 167,311, which is a little bit better than I thought it was. Interesting. I'll have a look at that in a second. So a few other players could go down. Stones could survive, but might go down as well. Like I said, could be double jeopardy on that one. Kepa probably survives tonight, but you know, when you look at these players who are like 77, 74, 73 with Calvert-Lewin, 66 with Cancelo, 57 with Gabriel Jesus, they probably will decrease in price over the course of the week. So even if they don't go down tonight, they are still players to keep an eye on. Got a couple of super chats, by the way. Roshan says, trading Gakpo for Wissa and McAllister for Diaby. Yeah, kind of like that. That's not too bad. Yeah, not bad moves, Roshan. I know it's a -4, and I don't like that this early in the season, but I don't particularly like Gakpo or McAllister as picks. So, yeah. The only thing is, why did you have... If you weren't going to keep Gakpo and McAllister for the Bournemouth game, why did you put them in your team in the first place? That would be my question. But no, I don't like them as picks generally, and I feel like that -4 will probably improve your team. Isaka's Prem says, thoughts on Nunez to Isak after game week 2. Gabriel Stones, yeah. Thoughts on Nunez to Isak after game week 2 is, yeah, maybe. We're a little bit ahead of ourselves here, though, so don't want to lock it in quite yet, but definitely something to consider. But yeah, maybe Nicholas Jackson. I would possibly go to Nick Jackson instead of Isak, to be honest. Gabriel and Stones, optional sells. So yeah, there we go. Oh, someone else, Massimiliano has also said, do I change Shaw for Chilwell before 2:30 a.m? If you haven't got any money in the bank and you want to make the move from Shaw to Chilwell, again, you're going to have to do that tonight. You're going to have to do it tonight, unfortunately. And remember, it's 2:30 a.m. UK time, so if you're in a different time zone, yeah, that could be tricky. And by the time a lot of you guys watch this stream, unfortunately, it might actually be too late for you guys. So, yeah, do apologise for that one. Mings, very unlikely price drop tonight, Ari. Very, very unlikely. He's down at 38 or something. He's down there somewhere. So, yeah, he's probably not going to drop tonight. But, yeah, it could happen soon. It could happen soon. So, yeah, something to worry about. I know this is nothing to do with the stream, but I do quickly want to have a look at my live rank as well. Let's have a look at my live rank. Sayantan says, Mings and Rashford to Chilwell and Maddison with a -4 point hit. Do you recommend? I don't love it. I don't love it, to be honest. It's okay, but I don't love it. Is that really my live rank? 132? So that's pretty decent. Wow, that's better than I thought it was. Yeah, okay, so right, there we go. That's pretty much that's pretty much it. Sayantan, I don't know if I would recommend that -4. I don't like -4s this early in the season. I feel like I would want Rashford against Spurs. Mings obviously is a problem, but maybe you could just switch him to a Colwill. And Maddison, yes, he'll be pretty good. There's every chance Chilwell and Maddison outscore Mings and Rashford this upcoming game week. There's a really good chance that happening. But I don't know if I'd be so keen to remove Rashford so early on in the season. I feel like it's a bit too early to be knee-jerking him out, to be fair. So, yeah, it's up to you. It's not something I'd be massively bullish on, though. So, there we go. Anyway, guys, hopefully that has pretty much covered everything we need to talk about today. I know we've not done too much of the Q&A stuff, but I know we've answered a lot of key questions, I feel like, and it allows me to change the thumbnail and title to Gabriel and Stone's replacement. So that's going to be pretty handy. So we'll probably do that. Kartik, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. But we are going to leave it there. Oh, not because Ruben's just put a super chat in. Ruben says, what happens to Estupiñán in the game if he transfers to Chelsea and we get a third Chelsea asset in before the transfer goes through? Then you have, like, you have 3 Chelsea players and you can't buy another one. I guess that's pretty much it. If you have 3 Chelsea players, you can't buy any more. If you somehow already have 3 Chelsea players, and for example, Estupiñán moves to Chelsea, and you suddenly have 4 Chelsea players, FPL will force you to remove one of those Chelsea players before you can make any other transfer. So yeah, the game will only allow you to make transfers if you've got 3 or less players from one individual team. So hopefully that makes sense. But we're going to leave it there, guys. If you did like the look of any of those tools from Fantasy Football Hub, then make sure you check the link in the description and get 50% off your subscription. The tools are so good, they're so powerful, and there's so many of them that you're always going to find something to help you out in your FPL decisions. And the AI My Team tool in particular, and the suggested transfers tool, really, really useful for helping you just to get a second opinion from someone who knows what they're talking about. And I know it's not a human, but they still kind of know what they're talking about. They give good advice. So, yeah, definitely really useful there. And if you already have got Fantasy Football Hub, hopefully with a little demo of some of the tools that they have, that's going to allow you to take more full advantage of the kit available to you. Because, yeah, try and get your money's worth out of this, guys, because there's some good tools there. So, yeah, aside from that, guys, make sure you drop in a like before you disappear. Make sure you subscribe if you want more FPL content. We have got buy, sell, keep, and avoid coming up tomorrow daytime. So yeah, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, I'll be uploading buy, sell, keep, avoid for the game week. Very excited. Already started making notes on that bad boy with some suggested transfers in and out. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy this one. Don't forget to check out the tier list video I made yesterday. But aside from that, guys, I will stop waffling on the outro. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.